Hey guys, what's up? Happy 2019. If you haven't been here before, I'm Bailey, if you're new to my channel. If you have been here before, welcome back. I'm in my PJs and my really fuzzy slippers. You can't see them, but from Groupon. I think I'm in my dad's t-shirt too, which is kind of funny. My dad knows how much I love graphic tees, so if he ever shrinks a shirt on accident, like in the dryer, he'll be like, hey, do you want these shirts? They're shrunk to like a woman's size. And I'm like, oh, sure, thanks. Anyway, I was journaling the other day and I wrote down this whole list of things that happened in 2018. And so since you guys were a big part of my year, I wanted to kind of go over some of them with you. And then also just thank you for being a part of 2018. I know we're almost like done with January of 2019. I still think that it's kind of cool to look back and reflect on where you've come from. I think when reflected on properly can kind of show you where you're going. When I journal about my year, when I do like an end of the year recap, it's kind of my way of reflecting on the lessons I learned, teaching me to recognize the progress, and then also teaching me to recognize the patterns so that hopefully this year I don't end up in some of the same cycles that I did last year, which taught me a lot, but weren't super beneficial to me in the present moments. Let's check out my 2018 recap. I got my first instrument endorsement from Ohana ukuleles, which was really exciting. I got a dog this year. She is the cutest thing in the entire world. I really dove into studying the enneagram. I would describe the enneagram as a really powerful personality type system that helps people understand human nature. And like other personality type systems, it basically describes different tendencies of humans into 9 different sections. It goes deep into our personality and describing motivations behind why we think and feel the way that we think and feel, and then how that dictates what we do and the way we live our lives. It's also been really interesting to be able to see my friends and my family in all of the different 9 types. And kind of based on your understanding of the system, it really helps you learn how to communicate with people of different types, what they need, what they don't need, what their fears are. I think it's been really healing even for myself to see that I'm not alone in the way that I think and feel. And there's other people out there that experience the world the same way that I do, which then leads me to something that I'm interested in doing this year, which is possibly becoming certified as an Enneagram coach. That's all I'm gonna say about that. More about that later. I could talk about it forever. Moving on. This was also the year of concerts. There's something to be said for like spending money to buy an experience. And there's something that is just magical to me about concerts. There's never one exactly like another. When you go to a show, the people you're with, the vibe of the crowd, the weather, what you're feeling, what you're wearing, all of it plays a part in creating this one-of-a-kind experience. I got to see some of the most incredible people live, from Elton John, Sam Smith, Taylor Swift, Gavin DeGraw, Andy Grammer, Grace VanderWaal, Charlie Puth, Ed Sheeran, Ben Rector, people that have inspired me in my writing and my own personal life. There's nothing quite like standing in a sea of 60,000 people, everyone holding their phones above their head and singing full voice with Snow Patrol at midnight in Nashville under a sky full of stars. Like, you can't recreate that, you know? Or seeing Taylor Swift and the lyrics saying, I can feel the flames on my skin, and you literally feel fireworks come up from the stage and you feel the heat on your skin and you're just like, do I have eyebrows left? Are we good? 3 of my best friends moved this year. That was really a challenge. I hate when people leave. The transition time is kind of not my favorite thing in the world. And then also the lie that it only affects you. It's not true. There's so much more I could say about that. Ooh, I got my 3rd tattoo this year. So this word on my arm says meraki. It's a Greek word, and I'm part Greek and it's in my handwriting, so it's really special. It's funny, the word didn't have a exact translation for a long time because there were too many definitions. They didn't know what exactly to put with it. Finally, when they decided on a definition, it had more than one. So the first meaning is to live your life with love, with soul, and with passion. And then the second meaning is that with creativity, you leave a little piece of yourself in everything that you do. It was completely spur of the moment. My other tattoos I've planned out. I walked into my tattoo parlor, said, hi, do you have any openings today? And he was like, no, we're booked, I'm sorry. Phone rings, and he's like, yeah, okay, cool. Hangs up the phone, he's like, well, we have an hour slot right now. The lady who was supposed to be here for the next hour just canceled. And I was like, okay, fine, so we're getting it. I celebrated the 1-year anniversary of my girls group that I started a little over a year ago, about 6 girls, and we meet every Thursday morning, 8 a.m., and we usually sit and talk and eat breakfast together. A group for accountability and just to know that you're not alone in whatever you're going through, I think is so important. I spent a lot of years not being around like-minded people, like people that think the way that I do, that understand my values, that understand where I'm coming from, that understand the very unconventional way that I live my life. Really isolating when you're surrounded by people that don't get it, you know? And so to have a group of girls, each one whose character I can vouch for, that is so uncommon. So we had our 1-year anniversary of meeting every single week this year. I also had a fall in love, heartbreak type of thing happen this year, which really a lot of it was so wonderful. And then a lot of it really sucked because it caused so much anxiety for me because I was just back and forth with this guy so many times that it was like, are we doing this? Are we not doing this? That's been going on for almost a full year. That whole thing just ended. So things I learned, I guess, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the people in your life. You deserve more than half-truths. People in your life deserve more than half-truths. And I learned that I do not do well with middle ground that is not one way or the other. It's funny, a lot of the patterns I experienced this year reaffirmed what I'm constantly telling other people. I'm telling other people all the time, like, you deserve to be pursued, you deserve to be loved fully and wholly, you deserve the world, and then I had a really hard time even believing that about myself. So, it's really funny the way that it all went down, but it ended exactly the way it was supposed to. I'm so thankful because I've taken the time to reflect on the growth that happened in my heart this year. I wouldn't be who I am right now without it, and I don't have time to spend or waste regretting things that have happened or choices that have made, but I know that I can learn from them. And I don't regret anything that happened this last year. I don't regret the risk that I took in believing in myself or believing in someone else. It taught me so freaking much. Walking away from this whole situation has left me hopeful and excited, and yes, there were tears cried. Yes, there were pints of ice cream eaten. I'm not trying to make it sound like a highlight reel, like, oh my gosh, I had this thing with this person and it didn't work, but I'm so great, I'm better than ever, new year, new me. The only reason I'm able to say that I'm doing good is because I documented a lot of things and I've been able to reflect over it. And any time that you risk, you run the risk of losing part of your heart, and you also run the risk of not getting it back. You'll still have your heart, but you won't have pieces of it that you have trusted with other people. And so I think where the grief is not like, oh, I thought it would work out with this person and I hoped for this thing and it didn't happen, I'm not gonna get that back and blah blah blah. It's not like that. It's more, I trusted this person with some of my heart and I'm not gonna get those pieces of my heart back. So I think that's the hardest thing to come to terms with. But at the same time, I also would like to think that our heart kind of regenerates. That empty space that we feel doesn't remain empty. I think we have to kind of honor that space and be like, well, this thing happened. Don't repress it. Don't brush it under the rug. Feel it, experience it. Be as present in your heartbreak as you were when you allowed yourself to risk and you allowed yourself to hope. And then take that space and see what else could go there, because your heart and your soul and your passion and your love is too good and too needed and too important in this world to just write it off as being broken or being misused or abused or hurt or anything else. No one can love exactly the way you can. No one sees the world exactly the way you do. No one has your fingerprint. I've said that before. Your heart is so much bigger than those pieces that are gone. And I feel like if we can respect and honor the space that something else did take up residence in, it's almost like a Grinch situation where your heart grows 3 sizes bigger and you're able to fill and fit so much more because of the empathy that is now there in your heart. If some girl or some guy came up to me and said, I feel like I was dragged back and forth with this person that couldn't make up their mind if I was worth choosing or not, I wouldn't look at them and be like, dang, I'm really sorry, that sucks. I would be able to look at them and my heart would freaking expand. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, my pain just came full circle. I know where you are because I've been there. and I'm not gonna preach to you, but I can speak into this because I understand your pain. And I think that is the most beautiful thing in the world. So here's to heartbreak. Here's to growth. Here's to new ages. You guys, I just turned 23. And the last thing that I want to say is that you guys encouraged me to put out original content. And that scared the crap out of me because I was like, no, it's not going to be good enough. And I haven't worked hard enough at writing. And I don't even know how. And I've never written before. And somewhere between the fear of failure and the fear of success, my first original song was born. And I put it out into the world. It's taking a piece of my heart and saying, here, I hope that this is good enough. And whether it is or not, I'm still stepping into doing this because I believe that I was created to create spaces for intimacy and create spaces for people to feel like they can live wholehearted, because I feel like that's what we were created to do. And so by doing that, it was scary, but I knew that it was right. 2019 is going to have a lot more of that and a lot more wholehearted living. Very excited to take you with me. So that's all for the 2018 recap. 2019 is going to be an incredible year. We're gonna come back and watch this video a year from now and see where we're at and see all the lessons we've learned. And hopefully there will be so much more than there was in 2018. And that was a dang jam-packed year. If you're interested in seeing my videos, listening to my music, all that stuff, please, please, please check it out. The links are in the description. All right, bye guys, we out.